Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with another StarCraft commentary. Here we have on your screen right now, Art of Terran, which I saw in another VOD. Actually, they also called it Art of Bio or something like that. So anyway, Art of Terran is a Terran player. You might expect that. And there's Julyzerg, who is a Zerg player. So both players announcing their race in their names. Although you just saw there that his name was actually just July with his clan of Z-Zone in this particular instance. This is going to be another one of our MSL Top 100 games. This is MSL Top 100 number 38. And I know it's been a while, huh? It's been a while since we did an MSL 100 game, hasn't it? You may have forgotten about this series. I forgot about it for a bit, honestly, since I've been busy with like doing other tournaments and what have you, and kind of other one-off series that I wanted to cast. But I did commit to doing all of the top 100 games for the MSL, and so here we have number 38. I think I've done probably 3/5 of them already, maybe only half. I don't know. I still have the whole bottom like 40 to go almost. So actually, I can't have done. So I've only done about half of these. So I got a ways to go. But we're gonna keep picking away at them. And if you're watching this as part of the playlist of all 100 games, then kudos to you for getting number 38. Wow. But also, apologies that I'm uploading these out of order, and so you may hear me reference things and time periods that are don't matter to you. But anyway, but this game is a game that I could not find on the interwebs before, so I had to go to the big MSL torrent to get a hold of it. So that's, you know, these old VODs are crunchy, they're not very high quality, but it's all that we have. And so this is you know, the 38th best game in MSL history when they came out with this list in 2008 or something like that. So or maybe 2007. So it should be a fun game, and so we can look forward to actually watching it, which is cool, because you know, it's not all these games are available at all anymore. Actually, I think maybe all of them or most of them are available on the torrent, but it's a lot of them that were even online before are now off of YouTube. They've been taken down, so it's hard to be able to watch some of these games. Anyway, Art of Terran is going to be the Terran player in the bottom rightish of the map, and Julyzerg is going to be the Zerg in the top leftish of the map. Let's take a look at the map real quick, actually. This is the map Parallel Lines 3. Can you tell why they call it Parallel Lines? I can't, because those are clearly not lines. Those are curvy things that are semi-linear. I don't know. They're not straight lines, I guess. Maybe they can still be parallel. I don't know. But as you can see, there's these two lines coming across the middle of the map, splitting it in half. And you can you can see that they've actually both spawned on the top right sort of section of the map. But I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I can't, wait, it's not zooming. Oh, there we go. Zoom in a little bit, and you can see that there's actually not really a land route between them anyways. There's ridges, and so they have a natural expansion they can take without air, but they're kind of forced to do air stuff in order to get around on this map. So anyway, we do see that Julyzerg has floated his overlord to the very close expansion to his to the lower left of his base, and he hasn't found anything there, so he's scouting around. But he doesn't know if Art of Terran is the far bottom right of the map or the near bottom right of the map. Now, having to go air means that Julyzerg is gotta go for Mulisks, you know? That's pretty standard for Zerg anyways in general, and for Julyzerg. And so it's not too much of a deviation expected for for Julyzerg, but Art of Terran's gonna have to do something a little bit different. And he has, I think, is he expanding? It's even harder to tell. There's even less pixels to check in this. Yeah, he is expanding. Okay, there we go. Because it's squeezed not only at 240p baud, but then his view is squeezed into, you know, a quarter of the real estate of the screen or something like that. So anyway, hard to tell, but yeah, it looks like Art of Terran has expanded, but he's gonna have to do something to deal with the fact that this is an air map. This is 2004, which is, I thought they were kind of done with air maps by 2004, but apparently not. But by 2005 or 6, they were basically entirely done with with air maps in the professional leagues, and so this is a little bit of a treat. We do have the Spire going down for Julyzerg as expected off of those 2 bases. Be curious to see if he has a 3rd hatchery somewhere in his base to, you know, macro up with. I don't see one that we're seeing, you know, too obvious. So, you know, we could have ArtOfTerran having a little bit of a economic advantage here, but, you know, that's the point of the Mulist, is to pick away at that economic advantage, kill STVs, etc. And we do see ArtOfTerran saying something. This is before the rules where you got disqualified for chatting. I think it was ArtOfTerran that said something. I don't know, it's hard to tell. There's not enough pixels to figure it out. Anyway, yeah, but he's kind of anticipating some fast Mulisks could be on the way, so he's getting an engine bay, getting an armory as well, and 2 starports. Wow! I mean, this is an air map, right? So air units potentially good. The armory, I mean, could we be seeing some Valkyries here? He said with a high-pitched voice. Could we be seeing Valkyries coming up? I mean, if you're expecting that your opponent is going to go for 2 base Muta, which Julyzerg on an air map, you can kind of expect he's getting a Hydra. He's getting a Hydralisk Dent. Did he scout? Did he scout the starports? I'm trying to figure that out. His Overlord was headed that way, so maybe he saw those starports with his Overlord, and that this is his reaction, in which case, I don't know why he didn't put the starports in a sneakier spot. But he is getting turrets up as well. Julyzerg getting Scourge out on the map instead of Mutalisks, so he's definitely aware of the starports because he's reacting to, you know, potential wraiths or something like that. But the armory and control towers makes me think of Valkyries. So he could be, you know, maybe he was thinking like, okay, if I can catch him off guard and he comes in with 9 mutas and I've got 4 Valkyries, then I can just polish off his mutas and then, you know, have the advantage on the map. Maybe that's what he was thinking. I'm not sure. He could go for cloak wraiths as well, but we don't see any lights blinking in those control towers. You know, they're just empty. I don't know what the point of a control tower is if no one's manning them. You know, control tower in IRL is where people are, where they're directing people to go. So, you know, telling which planes can go where. I guess that's maybe automated in the future. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Why do you need a control tower to make Valkyries, though? Who knows? The mysteries of StarCraft. 3rd barracks, 2nd and 3rd barracks going down in addition to this. So this is really interesting. So he is producing units out of those starports. He has the armory. He's not producing cloak. Julyzerg has dropped off a drone onto the other spawn point in the top left area. So he is actually has drop tech, and he's using it to expand there and get a 3rd base, which makes a lot of sense. You kind of need to do that. Terran can be okay on 2 bases. The Zerg really is going to want to get a 3rd base, especially if they're going to be, you know, focusing on these heavy areas. So he actually has wraiths out on the map. We saw earlier Julyzerg made a ton of Scourge, so these wraiths are probably not going to be able to do much without cloak. And I'm really surprised that he's making raids without cloak. We do have a bunker going down, by the way, behind there as well. Kind of an interesting choice. Not something you see very often these days, but it is something you saw more often back in the day, was bunkers to be there as defensive positions instead of turrets, basically. Oh, 1 Scourge does land, so one of those wraiths is close to dead, but they do kill off the other Scourge as well, so it's going to be able to maintain its health. So yeah, now he's this is so interesting. He's now switching up into bio after going for 2 starports. Is this a reaction? Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Julyzerg coming in with a drop, it looks like. We saw some Hydralisks earlier. It looks like that's the exact amount of Overlords to fit the amount of Hydralisks they had before. He's going to come up with a drop back here, and this is actually a pretty genius move here. He's going to land on top of the armory as well, which is going to, well, stop production of Valkyries, which aren't being made, so it doesn't really matter. But he's going to be able to take out a lot of these defenses. He does take out that 1 bunker, which, you know, is a much better than a turret. Maybe that's why he put that bunker there, because he was anticipating potential Hydralisk drop. Maybe he did a scan and he saw the Hydras, and he's like, okay, I I need to worry about these Hydras in the back. But only 2 Marines inside, nothing to repair it. The bunker goes down very quickly. The command center goes down to, it looks like a little less than half health pretty quickly as well. He does have siege tanks, so he is prepared for these Hydralisks relatively well. He's going to try and protect them with his very small bio ball. He just finished his 3rd barracks recently, so he hasn't really been able to build up very many Marines because he spent all of his money on starports and then made nothing with them almost. And so yeah, he doesn't really have a lot to deal with this. The Marines go down pretty quickly. The Hydralisks could have sniped the tanks a little bit earlier, but they didn't, but they still get away with it and are able to come in here. Now he's almost about to finish off these Hydralisks, and if I know Julyzerg, this is just the first strike. He struck with the left and now comes the right, exactly, and it's Mutalisks. I was thinking it was another drop, a follow-up drop, but it's a switch to Mutalisks. He already had the Spire attack, and all of the turrets have been killed off by the Hydras, and so he's going to be able to come in here and just slaughter the SCVs that came back to continue mining there. The command center was down very low from the Hydralisk attack already, so it's going to get polished off very quickly. A big sigh being heaved by ArtOfTerran. He does not look like he's happy about this situation at all. He has built up a little bit of a Bible. He does have a significant number of turrets. I really like his SimCity, by the way, I got to say that. But just doesn't have any bio. The bio gets polished off very quickly. Look at this Scourge kind of flowing through turret fire, but it doesn't really matter that much. He's going to camp them on top of the starports just in case of, I guess, more raids coming out, or vessels theoretically, or Valkyries. I guess, I don't know if he... Oh, he's making another armory actually on the side. So he really wants Valkyries, I guess? Because I don't think he's getting you know, mech upgrades at this point. Look at this Julyzerg microing back and forth pretty well. Only a couple Marines able to pop out at a time, so he's really not too concerned about the bio potential here. Now you can notice that he's actually taking a little bit of damage from this turret that he might not if he was playing this in, you know, 2022, because the Mutalisk clumping micro had not been invented or perfected yet. But he's still doing a pretty good job, and he's kind of being able to stay out of turret fire range and not take too much damage. He's taking some damage slowly on those mutas though. But he's getting so many SCV kills. Finally, he's going to fly out. Nope, just flying up to the barracks to take some more kills. And now he's going to fly out of there. Are there any turrets at the natural? I think the natural's just been just completely decimated and polished off there, so there's nothing there. So he actually gets away with only a handful of the mutas that he went in with, but he's made more, so he's still got a full flock, and he's going to continue taking out these buildings. Taking out the engineering base is actually a pretty big deal. No more turrets able to be built, although he wasn't really building them anyways, which is kind of what he maybe needed to do, but ArtOfTerran is definitely on the back foot here. And there's the Valkyrie coming out. He does have a Valkyrie. Is a Valkyrie enough? You know, a Valkyrie camping on top of bio and turrets is sometimes enough, but he's not going to be able to venture out on the map. I think he had planned on... Oh, never mind. He's going to move away from the turrets and lose all of his units. Actually, Julyzerg not quite targeting down that Valkyrie. He's going in. He's actually attacking the turrets first. The Valkyrie getting a couple extra volleys off before it dies. So significantly softening up those Mutalisks, but it doesn't really matter at this point. There's no turrets left. The engineering base is dead, so he's not going to be able to build anymore. And there's the GG coming from ArtOfTerran. And he does not look too happy about that at all. Oh, man. He's really upset. Julyzerg, cool as a cucumber in a nice pool of cool creep. Taking the win there. Very nicely played. Very, very interesting game. Man, such an interesting game. So crazy. I mean, it's so interesting to see. He went for the... Let's see, how far back do we have to go? Went for these two... I want to see if we can spot if Julyzerg sees the starports real quick. But, you know, just the mind games here where it's an air map. He knows that he has to go for air, right? Oh, that's really interesting. Oh, I just noticed he actually flew his barracks over and landed on the other side of the map to make a Marine there, just to kind of occupy that location to make sure that Julyzerg can't, you know, just float a drone in there. That's really clever. I like that a lot. And actually the Marine's kind of exploring as well, it looks like. So that's pretty cute. But he's got it on patrol, so he's just kind of able to cover a couple extra bases over there. So nice little move there. It did mean that he wasn't producing Marines back at home, but you know, he spent so much money on... I still didn't really get a chance to see if he spotted those starports. But, you know, he spent so much money on the starports. What is that? 150, 200 for each of them? 800 resources? Did I do the math right on that? 800 resources to make 2 Wraiths, which did nothing. So pretty severe misinvestment there. You know, I don't know, like, he can't really go for the Valkyries. Once Julyzerg caught wind of it, he you know, he started making wind units, and yeah, I just don't see if Julyzerg saw that. He must have seen it though. He must have seen the starports to react with Scourge and Hydralisk Den. I don't know. I really wonder if this is a planned strategy to go for the Spire and then take air control and bait him and then go for a Hydralisk drop, knowing that he would be expecting air, or if this was an adaptation where he saw the starports and like, I mean the starports are not completely unexpected either. Is the thing. I think I probably would have expected 1 control tower and cloaked Wraiths, though, if he was trying to get air superiority, rather than 2 control towers and an armory. Maybe he saw the armory. Maybe he saw the armory, actually. I don't know, man. This is 2004. It was the Wild West. Who knows what was going through the minds of these players at the time? The meta was so different, and so much had been unexplored. So, but a lot of people, sometimes people ask me in my stream, like, oh, they say something about, you know, Fantasy inventing Valkyries against Zerg in 2010 or something like that. And it's like, no, he kind of popularized it. He used it a lot, but he was not the first by any means. It was something that was always in the toolbox. It may have been buried at the bottom of the toolbox, and you know, you didn't really get to it unless you lost your 10 centimeter and you were digging around and you found this tool in the bottom and decided to pull it out every now and again. But it was something that was definitely deployed, and so here we have a game in 2004 where ArtOfTerran was able to try and pull it out. It didn't really work, but you know, it was a good thought. If Julyzerg could come in with 9 mutas, with a 3-hatch muta play, and encountered 2 into 4 Valkyries with, you know, turrets as well, and then the switch into bio after that, I guess, you know, he might have been able to take map control, shut down that 3rd base that Julyzerg had or something like that. It might have paid off, and obviously it must have paid off because he probably practiced this a lot with his teammates in preparation for this match. So he knew it had the possibility of paying off, but instead it did not. So GG, very interesting game here. Very, very cool game. Julyzerg takes the win, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. GG.